Students, in the neural control and coordination, the next topic is central neural system. So the central nervous system, it includes the brain and its parts. So you all know that the importance of the brain, because the complete body of an organism is under the commandings of the brain. So what are the parts of the brain? What is the function of those parts? Let us study in this class. So the brain is considered as the central information processing organ of the body, and it even acts as the command and the control system. So this brain, why it is going to act as the command and the control system? Because it controls the voluntary movements, balance of the body, functioning of vital involuntary organs. Involuntary means, example, the stomach. Once the food enters to your stomach, you cannot bring it again back to the mouth. So this is the involuntary movement or involuntary function. Then thermoregulation, hunger, thirst, circadian rhythms of our body sleep. Circadian rhythm means sleep wake cycle, which here every organism is showing the different metabolic processes in day or in 24 hours. So that is called the sleep wake cycle, and the activities of the endocrine glands as well as the human behavior. Along with these functions, the brain, it is also considered as the site for processing of vision, hearing, speech, memory, intelligence, emotions, and the thoughts. So this brain, it is well protected in the skull, but inside the skull, again the brain is covered by the layer called cranial meninges, where it is made up of the three different layers: outer, inner, and the middle. Outer, it is called the durameter, inner it is called pia-meter, and the middle it is called arachnoid. So this brain, it is divided into three major parts, that is forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. Forebrain, it is consisting of cerebrum, thalamus, and the hypothalamus. So here this cerebrum, it is forming the major part of the brain, where the cerebrum is divided by the deep cleft division separation. Cleft means, so this deep division or the cut divides the cerebrum longitudinally into two equal halves, and they are being termed as the left and right cerebral hemispheres. So these cerebral hemispheres, again they are connected by the tract of nerve fibers. Means the cerebrum, it is divided into two equal halves called as left and right cerebral hemispheres. So again those two parts are being connected with the tract of nerve fibers. Means with a network of the nerve fibers, it is called the corpus callosum. So this cerebral cortex, it is the layer of the cell which is acting as the cover for the cerebral hemispheres. So the cerebral hemispheres, it is covered with the layer of cells called as cerebral cortex, and this cerebral cortex, it appears in the form of the prominent folds. So in the cerebral cortex, we can see the presence of the two regions called gray matter and the white matter. So this gray matter, it is due to the appearance of grayish color, and white matter, it is due to the appearance of white color. So this grayish appearance, it is mainly due to the more concentration of the neurons cell bodies. Means in case of the cerebral cortex, there is the presence of the region where that region is completely more concentrated with the neurons cell bodies. That's why it is called as gray matter. Then the cerebral cortex, along with the gray matter, it even contains the motor areas, the sensory areas, and the large regions that are neither sensory nor motor in functions. So the next, the region with means the cerebrum, which is consisting of the region called motor areas and the sensory areas, it is called the association areas, where these association areas are responsible for the functioning like intersensory associations, memory, and communication. So intersensory association means the sensation which is occurring, or communication which is occurring in between the two by involving the two or more sense organs. Next, the inner part of the cerebral hemisphere constitute the fibers of the tracts covered by myelin sheath, which gives opaque white appearance to the layer. So I said in case of the cerebral cortex, there are presence of the two regions, that is called gray matter and the white matter. So gray matter, it is due to the concentration of more number of the neurons cell bodies. So the white matter, it is mainly due to the presence of the neurons which where the axon is covered mainly by the myelin sheath. So that gives the opaque white appearance. So where the opaque white appearance is observed, that region is called the white matter. Then in case of the brain, one more center is there, which is also considered as the major coordinating center for the sensory and the motor signaling. So that important part of the brain which is controlling the sensory and the motor signaling, it is called the hypothalamus. So this hypothalamus, it is lies at the base of the thalamus. So what are the functions of the hypothalamus? So hypothalamus, it controls the body temperature, urge for eating, and the drinking. Hypothalamus also contains the groups of neurosensory cells which secrete hormones called hypothalamic hormones. So the hypothalamus, it is consisting of the neurosensory cells, where these neurosensory cells are secreting the hormones, and those hormones are called the hypothalamic hormones. Then in case of the cerebral hemisphere, there are presence of some other structures like amygdala, hippocampus, and the other structures, where they combine together and form the complex structure that is called limbic or lobe or the limbic system. So this limbic system or the limbic lobe, it involves the regulation of the sexual behavior, expression of emotional reactions like excitement, pleasure, the rage, fear, and even the motivation. So here you can see the parts of the brain. So as in case of today's class, you have come across with the corpus callosum, that is where the two cerebral hemispheres are interconnected by the network of nerve fibers, that is called the corpus callosum. Then you have come across with the major part of the major part of the forebrain, that is the thalamus, which is also considered for the coordinating in case of motor and the sensory signaling, that is the thalamus. Then you have come across with the hypothalamus. So here you can see the limbic lobe or the limbic system, which is controlling the functions along with the hypothalamus. So thank you.